So we're going to transfer one of the 4 ABs.
What's up, fertility fam? Let's get these babies, ladies. What's up, fertility fam? How are you? I'll make this brief because this video is going to be kind of long. It is March 3rd and I'm putting together the clips. First of all, thank you for all of your information. You guys are amazing. Have I told you guys that lately? You are amazing. You are enough. You are resilient. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being part of the fertility fam. And thank you for waiting patiently. I know it's Wednesday and I went to the doctor on Monday, but I went on Monday. I saw Dr. Bishop, not Dr. McConnell, and we just did, well, not just did, we did an ultrasound and blood work. And so we confirmed that I had ovulated. And then Tuesday, I talked to Dr. McConnell on the phone to talk about progesterone. And then today I had my meeting about the transfer. I can't really explain why it happened over 3 days. I'm not exactly sure, except I was dealing with 2 different nurses, or I was dealing with Katrina, who's Dr. McConnell's nurse, and Nalita, who I think is the coordinator. I've, you know, interacted with Katrina since 2018 when I had my first transfer with my own egg, and, you know, she's very much by the book. And so when I asked her about the progesterone situation, she was like, you'll have to talk to Dr. McConnell. So I think that's how I got the Tuesday meeting with Dr. McConnell, which was just a phone call. And then today was in person because that is what I had asked Nalita for. And yeah, so it probably was my misunderstanding, thinking Monday I was talking to Dr. McConnell. Anyway, it's all sorted out. I talked to her. For those of you who just want the answer, I will tell you. Well, first, I will say, by the time I talked to Dr. McConnell, I'd already made up my mind. And that's why I'm saying thank you to all of you ladies who either in the comments let me know about your experience, or via email, or DM me on Instagram. It's absolutely priceless. I would say for anyone making a decision, definitely work with your healthcare provider, but also do your own research. Sometimes people will give you anecdotal stories and they may be the outliers, right? They may be like the edge case. So it's good to look at studies. So I looked at that as well, but you guys gave me some great information and pointed me in some amazing directions. And so taking it all in, I am only going to transfer one. If you want to know how I came to that conclusion, carry on. If you want to know about the progesterone, how I will be administering that, carry on and watch the rest of the video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Welcome to all of the people who have joined. We have new family members, male and female, who have joined the fertility fam. Welcome, welcome. Please introduce yourself down below. I would love to say hello and get to know a little bit about you and your story. Where are you in your journey? What have you gone through? What are you looking forward to? What are you struggling with, you know? Yeah, let's talk about all of it and just build the bond. You're a part of a great community now. There's a lot of helpful people here, and we exchange ideas in the comments. And so I'd love to hear about you and have you join the conversation. All right, without further ado, let's see how the last 3 days unfolded for me. Twisting of the wrist and the pulling the plunger back up, I'm not physically able to do. So like if I do it in my hip, I don't have that twist in my wrist. Do you know what I mean? Because to reach around to my backside, I have to twist my wrist and then try to pull that plunger out.
What do you mean in your hip? Because I look at your, like, the buttocks. You don't want to give it on your thigh, that's for sure.
Okay, so the video that Katrina sent me, it's around my backside, right? So what I'm saying is, can I do it the muscle on my hip instead of around on my backside where I have to twist the wrist?
I'm just afraid you may get into some injury of blood vessels and stuff like that. So that's why it's important to be in that area. The other option that we have is to do vaginal, but the risk, the issue is that the pregnancy rates have been the same when you use vaginal versus the intramuscular injection, but there's been a higher incidence of miscarriages with vaginal than with the intramuscular. Now, prior to that study, Tanika, our clinic, we only used to do vaginal, and we had good success rates. But as studies come out, then we change based on what the studies show.
Okay.
Katrina, reach out.
Okay.
So that we can see exactly where you're talking about. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
You're welcome.
I'll talk to you later. Bye. So it doesn't sound like well, we'll see. We'll see. That was Dr. McConnell. I didn't think she was gonna call me back today because I have a meeting with her tomorrow to go over all my other stuff, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see what Katrina has to say. Hello? Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, okay. I always enter off mute. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Wonderful.
I have questions for you.
Sure.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Because I did fresh transfer last time and I did it. You were on holiday. I did it with Dr. Brady. So I just wanted to understand, like, well, one, let me back up. I would like to have ideally 3 children, but I'll take 2. I met with Dr. Lasala, and I'm high risk, obviously, because of my age. I'm also high risk because first pregnancy was intrauterine growth restriction. So she said no matter my age, I would always be high risk. And then I met with the nephrologist, oh my God, Dr. Chevalier, because I donated a kidney. So he's going to want to see me like once a month. So I think and Dr. Lasala wants me to do an aspirin. I'm not sure when. I actually need to ask her. I got the low dose aspirin.
You can actually start it now.
Okay.
We don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Low dose. Okay, start now. So I wanted to talk about what it makes, given all of that and like what my goals are. Does it make sense to transfer only 1 or 2, or should we 1? Okay, I knew you were going to say that. Tell me why, just so I have my own.
Number 1, I can tell you from a medical standpoint, remember the donors that we use are less than 30. Okay?
Right.
So we only transfer 1 when we're dealing with an egg donor.
Okay.
Okay? Because the most likely the embryo is normal.
Okay.
So for that reason. And then from a health standpoint, all of the risks that you just shared, and with Dr. Lasala, I'm sure she can explain it to you even better. If you had twins, the risks are so high for developing complications, preeclampsia, hypertension, which is severe hypertension, hypertension, as well as diabetes and growth restriction. You don't want growth; you already have that history. And if we were the whole idea, I'm sure for you, is your thought was, well, if I transfer 2, and if 1 implants, then I'm great. But it's a great possibility that both of them will implant because this donor was less than 30.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. And then, so I saw my acupuncturist.
Hi guys! I'm interrupting this video to bring you this special message.
I do want to touch on, because I know Dr. McConnell said in the call about not testing the donor eggs, and she and I had already had a conversation about this, but I want to talk to you guys about it because it's come up in the chats, but I haven't said anything about it on video. So here is what I'm saying. She and I previously had a conversation prior to having the egg retrieval about whether or not to test the embryos that were created by donor eggs. And as she mentioned, under 30, they will only transfer 1. But there was another conversation that we had about not testing. So as of today, when I am speaking this, which is March 3rd, 2021, there is no clinical data to support that testing donor egg embryos increases the chance of success, okay? So there have been studies done and there was no statistical difference in pregnancy outcomes from tested donor egg conceived embryos and not tested donor egg conceived embryos. There are also risks that come when you test the embryos. 1, you are biopsying the embryo, which could potentially damage it. You are also, as with all testing, embryo testing, you are testing the trophoblast, the outer
cells of the embryo that will eventually become the placenta, which may or may not determine accurately what the embryo will develop to be. My own personal thing, and I know you guys who have been with me for a minute, and I've said this a million times, you can Google her, Dr. Monica Halem, my dermatologist. Excuse me. Dr. Monica Halem, who happens to be my dermatologist, had embryos that were tested, right? And she had 13 miscarriages. She was a patient of Dr. Braverman. That's what I'm saying. If you look her up, you'll find out all this information. Prior to her last retrieval, which I want to say it was at 44. And she had them tested and they came back mosaic. And at that time, nobody was transferring mosaic embryos, nobody. And so there was a doctor over at New Hope who agreed to transfer the mosaic eggs for her, or embryos for her. And now she has 4 beautiful children. I haven't seen her in a year. She might have 5 because I know she was going to do another one. But, and they were all from mosaic embryos and they are fine. Like mentally, physically, nothing is wrong. So I know some of you guys have said things like, oh, are you okay with having a Down syndrome baby or having a mosaic baby? Those two things are totally separate. I just want to be clear on that. So on having a baby that has mosaicism, if it's low, yes. There's also a lot of evidence to show that just because there is a test that says there's something wrong with this embryo, and again, because they're only testing that outer layer, the trophoblast, there's evidence to support that there's an autocorrection that can happen in the womb. You will only be able to find that out if you put the child in the womb. And most clinics will not transfer an embryo once it's been tested and come back abnormal. Some still do not transfer mosaic embryos, and you have to go through this whole thing to have your embryos transferred. Granted, there are different levels of mosaicism, so I'm not trying to like sugarcoat it and say if you have a mosaic egg, you get a happy baby. I'm just giving information from my own experience as I've walked on earth, and the information that I've discussed with my doctor, the research that she's done. I like to confirm. So I obviously went and looked, not that I don't trust Dr. McConnell. I trust her very much. There is no evidence of that. If you and your doctor have a different study, I'm more than happy to look at it. I'm more than happy to share it. Put it in the link below. It won't post because the way that my comments are set up, anything with a link in it won't post. It comes to me for a review. So I'll review it. I will look at the link. I will look at the study. And if it shows that there is a statistical significance in pregnancy outcomes from testing a donor egg embryo, I will post it. I don't have a problem with that. Like I want us to build each other up. Like we don't have to agree on everything. And sometimes there are a set of facts, and based on that set of facts, we make a decision based on that. We should respect each other's decision making, right? Everyone won't come to the same conclusion, and I'm open to like a healthy conversation. I don't think we should be in a situation, especially in this community, where if we don't agree, then we are at odds with each other.
I think we've seen enough of that in America. That's not working, guys.
So let's, I don't want to say agree to disagree because it sounds trite, but let's respect our difference of opinions, right? We all have a right to our own opinions.
As my mama says, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one and most of them stink.
Not saying you're a stink. I'm just trying to keep it light. All right.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And so I saw my acupuncturist last night, who actually did a panel with you, Dr. Claire Brown. You did a POC,
Okay.
Or no, PCOS. Anyway, she's recommending or wants to know your thoughts on me getting the virus before. I mean, not the virus, the vaccine for the virus before, but wanted to make sure there was no medical contraindications to that. Is it okay?
We support the COVID vaccine. We're going by WHO, ABOG, and ASRM guidelines, and it states that if the patient is at high risk for developing COVID, then it's warranted that you should have it because the risk of developing COVID while pregnant is very high as well, for its complications.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, what we don't want is for you to be in the middle of the cycle when you're doing the vaccine, okay?
Okay.
Because The first vaccine, most people have no issues, okay? The second vaccine, anywhere from 12 to 24 hours after that vaccine, the patient may develop fever or, just not feeling well. So we would, and the rules that if you have fever, you can't come into the office.
Right.
So we wouldn't want to tell you, oh, we can't do it when we know it's from COVID, but we have no choice.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And then I guess because I have 10 embryos, is there a strategy of which one, because we didn't test them, of like which one to transfer? Or what is that?
I have let me just pull up, the embryologist will look at the grade of the embryos.
Okay.
Remember, embryos can make it to the blastocyst stage by day 5, 6, or 7. Okay?
Okay.
So the ones that would make it to the blastocyst stage by day 5, there's going to be a higher priority, right?
Okay, makes sense.
Okay. Now, also, we look at the cells that would make up the inner cell mass, which are the cells that would make up the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The highest score they can get is an A.
An A, okay.
So it's A, B, C going down. Anything below the quality of a C, we typically do not freeze or transfer. Okay? All right? And then we have another score based on the cells that would make up the placenta.
The trophoblast. Okay.
Trophoblast.
Okay.
So let's go over yours. You have, and then I'm going to call out some numbers to you. The numbers are how expanded the cells are. Okay. So a 6 is mean that the cells, the embryo is hatched out of the zona.
Okay, which is the best one, right? Or it's more...
No, the best would be like a 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay, based on expansion.
Okay.
So you have a 6 BB.
Okay.
A 4 BB. A 6 BB. A 4 AB. A 4 CB. A 4 BB. A 4 CB. A 4 AB, a 6 BB, and another 6 BB. Is that 10? Or did I miss one?
That's 10. That's 10.
Okay.
So it sounds like, if I'm understanding you, the 4AB out of the 2 4ABs are going to be the best, so we'll likely transfer one of the 4ABs.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. And then is there anything else I should be doing physically besides eating well and regular exercise to prepare? Like, I'm not in my follicular phase yet, but as we ramp up for it, because I came in on Monday, my progesterone is at 13 something, so we confirmed ovulation.
Mm-hmm. So we just wait for you to get a period because we're going to prepare the lining. Okay?
Okay.
So your progesterone, you had skipped a period, so with your progesterone level being elevated, then you should be getting a period anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks from now. Okay? Once you get your period, if you're ready to start, then you would call with the first day of your period. We would have you come in on day 2 or 3, and then we would start you on estrogen.
Okay. And I have
that. Those are pills that you're going to take orally twice a day.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
After so many days into that, then we bump it up to 3 times a day. Okay?
Okay.
You would come in about 10 to 12 days after you've been on the estrogen so we can see what the lining looks like. Okay?
Okay.
If the lining looks nice and thick, we do not see any follicles growing on your ovaries, then we say everything looks okay. And at that point, then we'll tell you when we want you to start the progesterone.
Okay.
Remember, the progesterone is that intramuscular injection. And we'll come back to that. And then if everything looks okay there, then about 6 days later, then the transfer is done. Okay. So it probably will be about two visits prior to the transfer.
Okay.
Depending on what we see.
Not 1 after I start my period. I don't come in after that.
No. That's 1 you're going to call with the first day of your period. We're going to have you come in on day 2
Okay.
or 3. And then the next one will be about 10 to 12 days later. And if everything looks okay at that point, then we won't see you back until the day of the transfer.
Gotcha.
If you have a growing follicle or if the lining is not quite what we want, then we may make some manipulations and then tell you to come back a few days later.
Is there anything I should be doing to support the lining growth, like castor oil packs or no? Okay.
Nope, we're doing that.
Okay.
We're taking care of that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's all I got. Okay.
Now, back to the intramuscular progesterone.
Yes.
Have you spoken to your daughter?
She's coming home today. She's been at her boyfriend, so I'm gonna ask her when she gets home today. I think we'll make it work. I'll figure it out because I just based on the statistics of that being the best way, I'd rather do it that way. So I'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. More questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you. I have all my notes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate you.
Right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You're funny. Bye-bye.
All right. So there. We have it. When I went in on Monday, I did not talk to Dr. McConnell, and then I showed you guys, I think I did show you guys that I talked to her yesterday about the intramuscular progesterone. I'm just going to suck it up and figure it out. Yeah, we'll get it sorted out. We'll gangster it to the finish line. I mean, worst case scenario, I have to administer it myself in the upper buttocks region and just hope I don't torque out my wrist. Yeah, because I don't want to do anything to decrease my chances. So I have 2 4AB embryos. So we're going to transfer one of the 4ABs. It's interesting that they said the 6 where it's already hatched is not higher. I thought like that was the best, but I guess at the time of freezing. So the ones that are already hatching, by the time you thaw, maybe there won't be a trophoblast left. I don't know. And there are no 5, so they were either 4 or 6. So they're ready to go. They're ready to get inside of mommy. I'm excited. So yeah, I think she confirmed what I slept on it last night, and my thoughts were, let's do the 1, see how it goes, pray that everything works and that it implants, and see how that pregnancy goes. Like, do I have a recurrence of the intrauterine growth restriction? What does my blood pressure look like? What does my kidney function look like? Because Dr. Lasala was saying pregnancy generally improves kidney function, but that is obviously not always the case. There are some people who, I can't even remember, I've seen a couple videos, but like where basically the kidney stops functioning because of pregnancy, and then after they deliver, the mom is fine. But like they're super itchy during it, and the only way to relieve the mom is to deliver the baby. And so it's a dance of like, usually she's hospitalized and put on bed rest, and then they monitor her and make her comfortable. There's not much you can do for the itching except for topical antihistamines, and so like a Benadryl lotion type of thing, or you know,
chamomile, is that what it is? Calamine lotion.
To calm down the nerve endings. But basically it's a dance of like, how long can mom take it and get the baby to a deliverable age. Sometimes they have to go on dialysis. There's a lot of risk is what I'm saying. And then I just watched another young lady, I think her name is Heather Fern. I'll link her video over here. She's having a twin pregnancy with intrauterine growth restriction, and because we know that I'm prone to that, like that scared enough of the bejesus out of me. She's having a tough go of it, and they've put her on bed rest, and I think she's at 20 something weeks. I am the sole breadwinner of the household. I probably could work on bed rest, but my job is super stressful, so I believe the idea of bed rest is not only to stay in bed, but also to not be stressed. And so there's not a way to really disengage from that, although I will say, I'm random right now, the new therapist, like we did some mindfulness exercises, and one of the things of like, he had me do a practice of like letting my thoughts go, and one of the things he said is, my thoughts are stressful, but I am not stressed, which was small but mighty for me. That was super powerful. I'll have to do a video on some of that stuff. It's been very interesting. And also, in order to prepare for meditation when I've had like a super busy day, think of all my thoughts, like as I'm laying there. You know, if you've tried to meditate, sometimes there's just a lot of thoughts and you're like trying to shoo them away. So instead of shooing them away, he's like, bring them all in close. Bring them all in close. Hold them for a second and then let them go. So when he said that, the imagery that I had was like, give them a hug, as in give myself grace for having these thoughts and then release them. And I thought of them as butterflies and they were just flying away, which suddenly made them light. And I think subconsciously before I was thinking of my thoughts as heavy, as weighing me down. And so then it was like a burden to kind of like get them out to meditate. And so I tried it. I had therapy Monday night. I tried it last night during acupuncture and I fell asleep. I was in a deep sleep. Normally I'm like calm and in a restful state, but I was in such a deep sleep that when Clara came in and she started pulling the pins out of my ear, I totally flinched and I like woke up. I didn't even remember where I was, so I was a little bit startled, but I was in a deep, either a deep sleep or a deep meditative state because I had no awareness of her. Usually when she opens the door, I can hear her coming in and I kind of like bring myself back. Anyway, it's powerful. I encourage you to think about it, at least if you're not going to try it, if you have trouble like getting into a meditative state. All right, I think that is it. I meant to ask her about the IVs, but I think as long as I do it, my IVs before cycle day 1, I'm okay. I say that because I'm going to get an IV tonight. It's called Body, and then I'm getting one next week that is another, and this one will have a glutathione push, but the next one is the it's called Youth, and it has a lot of glutathione in it. Glutathione, vitamin C. The one tonight has vitamin B. Actually, let me just tell you really fast. And then also I am going to I'm getting a massage on Sunday and then going to the chiropractor on Monday because I was so tight last time. She recommended that I get a massage before. So I have to work, so I can't do everything all in one day. So Sunday it will be the massage. I'm doing like 90 minutes, which should get me good and relaxed. This part is super tight, and like yesterday I was walking around with like a heating, I don't know what it's called. It's like, I think it's got flaxseed in it. It's like a tube with flaxseed in it and you can put like essential oils on it. You know what I'm talking about? You put it in the microwave to heat it up and then you put the essential oils. Anyway, I had that on yesterday and it's still like, this part is super stiff.
So I think 90 minutes will do me right.
So yeah, that'll be on Sunday. And the massage place is right across the street from Central Park on the east side. I live on the west side of Central Park, but this is on the east side. So I think I'll just go for a little walk down there.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Is it? No. It is also on the west side because the park is in front of the, I'm losing my mind. Is that right?
It's Central Park South is what the address is. I see it in my, anyway, I'm going to go for a walk in the park down there. As I live at the top of Central Park. It's down by the 50s. So, or 59. Okay, so what I'm getting is the Body, which is what I'm getting tonight. It has vitamin C, B complex, plus B5, B6, multi-trace elements. Those are the extra. The key ingredients are methionine, I'm probably butchering that, inositol, choline, which is a B12. You also get that from eggs, which I haven't had any eggs this week. I boiled some last night. I'm gonna have 3 eggs for breakfast, I think, or 2. Let's not go crazy. L-carnitine and taurine are what I'm having tonight. And let me just give you a quick thing of what methionine is. I'm biohacking myself, guys. I'm not encouraging you to do this. It's just me trying to like maximize my body. It's METHIONINE. 9 is the last part of it. So it's an amino acid. Amino acids are the building blocks that our bodies use to make proteins. It's found in meat, fish, dairy products. It plays an important role in many cell functions. It's used to prevent liver damage in acetaminophen poisoning. It is also used for increasing the acidity of urine, treating liver disorders, and improving wound healing. Other uses include treating depression, alcoholism, allergies, asthma.
And these are more powerful than doing supplements and in the pill form. So L-carnitine, another naturally occurring amino acid derivative that's often taken as a supplement, plays a crucial role in the production of energy by transporting fatty acids into your cell's mitochondria. Mitochondria acts as an engine within your cell, so we know that. That's part of why we take ubiquinol, right, or CoQ10, because the mitochondria is the engine, and the CoQ10, ubiquinone help get more energy. As we age, our natural production of CoQ10 decreases, so supplementing it helps it increase, or helps restore it to
levels of youth.
It acts as an engine within, mitochondria acts as an engine within your cells, burning these fats to create usable energy. So this is just going to support my keto. Like I'm doing keto to help for fat burning, right? My body is now fat adapted, so it's using fat as a source of energy instead of carbohydrates. Or if I'm doing it right, it's actually now flexing back and forth. We'll see. I feel like it's working because I feel like my body composition is changing, and I think that is as a result of the my body is flexing between carb and fat for energy consumption. So that is what is in the NutraBody. And then let me tell you about the other one. Nutra Youth is what I'm doing. And that has NAD or NAD. It has the NAD plus magnesium, selenium, and glutathione, and I'm getting also a glutathione boost with that one. And then the extra, the plus vitamins, or vitamin C, which helps with the glutathione absorption. Vitamin C helps with a lot of absorption of different vitamins. B12, B complex, B5, and B6. So that's what I'm getting next week. Yeah, so that's it. My next thing is to figure out how to get the COVID vaccine before transfer. If you know where to get a COVID vaccine in New York for someone who's 49 and high risk, let me know down below. And if I find any updates, I will post it at the end of this video, or I'll put it in the description box. All right, ladies, that's it. I'm gonna sign off and collect my thoughts. Thanks for rocking with me. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Baby, that's to us all.